Yo, what up? It's me, KyoK. Since Abyssus, I've uploaded a lot of my White Mage first clears, but in Dawn Trail I've been playing a lot of Astro. Well, from my White Mage enjoyers, this one is for you guys specifically. For this year I decided to clear on White Mage, since I miss playing the job a bit honestly. I will start off by saying that this is not PF strats. This is week 1, and there are no real PF strats yet, so if you're watching this in the future, don't use the movement and pryos in PF, or you will probably get flamed. For the revolutionary pattern where you're out, I highly recommend using the dash line. You can use that to pre-position for the light party stack, and it's honestly really helpful instead of just having to eyeball and dying to a tank cleave. I'll also say that in this clear I was safety healing a lot because I know our damage was going to be fine and I just wanted to make sure everyone lived, so we would clear. Having high skill isn't just doing a lot of damage, it's also knowing what causes the best chance of clearing. And in my case in particular, just making sure everyone lived was #1 priority for me since our damage was more than fine. For this tower here, you can use knockback. I did it just because it's cool, but I ended up not rolling my GCD anyway, so it didn't really matter. For the first multi-stack, it's a good place for Lilybell. It catches the stack as well as a little bit of the raid wide immediately after. Make sure the party is topped. Make sure the party is healed properly throughout this multi-stack. Use lilies, use cure 2, use whatever, and make sure the party is topped for every raid wide.
Must have heard, but they're not out of the fight yet.
For the Yojimbo towers, just save a movement ability for it. You can either dot, use a heal lily or a blood lily. This is the end pattern here. I'm lining up with the boss's arrow ring, which is a consistent way of positioning yourself, I think. So adds. Adds does a lot of damage, depending on what you do. Our group has the marked players stack, just because it makes the movement less tight, and in return it makes the healing a bit harder. During the downtime, I recommend using a regen on the tanks, because you might as well during downtime, and tanks do take a lot of damage here. Try to top the party as best as you can. Make sure everyone is full HP for every stack that goes out. Not a stack, for every marker cleave that goes out. And I used Temperance on this third set of damage. It's not a bad idea to hold Temperance for the raid wide spam right after ads, but with my specific co-healer's mid plan and party's mid plan, Temperancing the third instance of damage in ads and using the shield for this raid wide spam was what worked best and was the safest overall. It definitely depends on your co-healer where they're shifting their shield mitt around, as well as your party where they're deciding to use your party mitt. So just use your Temperance wherever fits best, in your opinion, based on your party. It's very flexible, especially with the 30-second window to use the Divine Caress ability.
Still you stat. How delightful.
So for this beam mechanic, I don't think this will be the party finder normal, but it's resolved the same either way, just don't get clipped.
Pack of wolves.
This is downtime, so you might as well just be spamming GCD heals here for safety. And another out pattern. Again, I'm using the dash line that appears to position myself. And make sure to dodge the dragon lines afterwards. Tank Buster, use your single target mitts here for the tanks. They'll appreciate it, especially if they're not involing the busters in this phase. And we're going into Moonlight. Not really much to say here except do the mechanic and try to heal people between the sets. Just try to be aware of where the safe spots are. Final set of multi-stacking damage. Lilybell is great here. You can use Asylum as well. Make sure the party survives. Use Lilies, use Cure 3s. And make sure they're full HP for this raid wide. And it's free. It's that easy. Alright, so this is actually my first time seeing Phase 2 personally, and again, I'm just here to clear, I'm here to keep people alive, and I know my team is going to pump since they're gamers. I imagine with time, as people get more gear from tome gear and all that, the damage should be pretty fine for you as well. So as a healer, if damage doesn't seem rough, do try to make sure you prioritize people being alive rather than greeting damage, especially later on when people have better gear and damage is a lot higher in general. So for this entire phase, we're doing our race strats. Definitely not party finder, but it's good enough for a video. Throughout this entire phase, tanks do get low sometimes from auto attacks. Don't be afraid to use regens to keep them nice and healthy. Since a tank dying is pretty catastrophic, since it means the next DPS will probably die. If a tank does die, immediately start healing the second in threat DPS. It's just something you're going to have to be used to looking at, since if you don't, then they will probably die, and it'll just keep cascading into all the DPS players until they're all dead. It's rather hard to recover in this phase, since there are a couple of body checks. Here, I notice the Dark Knight gets low, and I'm not afraid to use a regen instantly. And rolling my Benisons and Tetras to make sure it doesn't get too scuffed.
Dodge this if you can.
So I go to the side platform here to better bait the Tether. It wasn't my tips video, I don't see many other people doing it. I still think it's the best though, because it makes a static set of movements. And throughout this entire tether baiting area, tanks in particular take a lot of damage. You're gonna want to keep an eye out. I shouldn't have let the tanks get that low, but luckily they didn't die. In retrospect, definitely more regens throughout that entire sequence would be ideal, especially when you're progging. So spinny shapes mechanic, not really a lot to say here, there's no damage going out, not even auto attacks, so you just do your best to dodge. Look out for the platform coming into you, and make sure to always dodge the bits behind you. Another set of light party stacks. Try to keep people healthy. Another conga. Watch out behind you as always. And another tank buster. I use Aqua Veil on one tank and Venison on the other tank. And they are healthy.
What power! Looks like someone isn't holding back.
So now we're going to the blue-green tether mechanic. Party Finder. We'll probably use the Healer's Plant South strat, which is pretty based. It's a really good strat. You can just ignore what we're doing here. In Party Finder or your group, you would just be AFKing on the south platform for this entire mechanic. Really free for healers, not having to do anything. So, on the other hand, for my group, we just have a set of pryos and we're good. So for Hero's Blow, I'm instantly looking at the boss's hit ring to see where he's facing. And after orienting to how he's facing, I'm able to successfully dodge his cleave and be in and out. Luckily, I had a pretty easy pattern, so I didn't have to do much. Right after, the conga markers ended up being in a really good pattern from us. We didn't really have to do anything special, and we're in the Enrage sequence now. I imagine in Party Finder, the order will be Party Mitt, Invuln, Kitchen Sink, Invuln, Mitt. But we're just doing 2 sets of party mitts into 2 invulns here. For no reason in particular, it doesn't really matter. If your damage is looking fine, like our group is here, the only thing you should be worried about is keeping your party alive. For real. If you're going to be a healer, at least make sure you heal properly. It's pretty much your job. Not a big fan of healers who play just to RP as a DPS player and only use their damage abilities, and occasionally their OGCDs. I Medicaid and Cure 3'd a lot in this pool. In fact, I'm the current rank 1 healer in terms of healing. And we're still way ahead in this DPS check, as you can see. We were super ahead. I knew that as long as I kept people alive, it was going to clear. And I think that for all healers, that should be your mentality as well. Focus on keeping people alive, and prog will come naturally. It's really bad when you wipe to damage, not enough healing. Try to make sure that never happens. But anyways, that is my week 1 white mage clear for the tier. I'm not sure if there's a lot to learn here. I did save a Temperance for one of the Enrage platforms and Lilybell for the other, so spacing out your big cooldowns isn't a bad idea. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to see other content or other healers clear this fight, let me know, and I'll see you around. Good luck on your prog.